Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachelle Glendon. It is lovely to have you here. So if you haven't figured out by the title, today's video is the Australian Mums Christmas Tag collaboration. Yeah, so I will leave everybody's channels down in the description box down below. So if you want to check them out, I'll also leave a little I'm not sure what side it appears on. A little eye will pop up on either side, and that will link you to a little playlist with everybody's videos in there. If you want to check them out directly, you can just press play and watch them through, or just pick the ones you want to watch or whatever. Yeah, really would appreciate if you could hop over and support them as well. So on with the questions. I've got my phone, if I can get it to turn on, and I've got the questions on my phone, so if I look down, that is why, so I'm not being rude. Okay, so the first question is, what's your favorite thing about Christmas in Australia? So my favorite thing about Christmas in Australia is the warm weather and the late evenings of sunlight. So apparently only like 12% of the population have live in an area where it's summer at Christmas time. So it is a little bit different than like all of our Christmas stories and everything that we see. All the Christmas movies are usually set in winter. But I have to say, as much as I think that sounds really festive, and I know that the vibe in the town centres and things like that is a little bit more Christmassy because it might be snowing, or if it's not snowing, at least like all the Christmas lights and it's dark and you've got all the Christmas markets and stuff. But Australian Christmas is still very exciting. Everybody is still in that holiday mode. Like most families are on holidays because it's school holidays. This is our big chunk of time off for school. What's a family tradition your family does at Christmas time? I mean, it's just what everybody does, isn't it? Just eat too much food and play games. Like, again, being Christmas time in summer, we're usually outdoors a lot, playing yard games like bowls or hide and seek with the kids, or swimming in the pool is usually a big tradition, or a big, thing that we do. Eating prawns is definitely a big thing. Do you have any things that you're hoping will become new traditions? So, as I mentioned also in my Scrooge's video, a Christmas for Scrooge's video, Rolly and I aren't the most, or up until this year, we haven't really been the most Christmassy type of people. We have tended to just be excited the fact that we've got time off rather than the fact that it's Christmas, and we haven't really bought each other Christmas presents for a long time. We've got our Christmas tree up this year. We had to go out and buy this tree. We didn't have one. I think this is Rolly's first ever time actually being the decorator of a tree. So I think we are starting, this year is the start of all of our new family traditions. Now we've got Max, and next year we will have 2 little ones, so that's very exciting. So everything that we're doing this year is a new tradition. Like Elf on the Shelf, me doing Vlogmas has been a really great way for me to start some new traditions and do some things that I wouldn't have normally done. Like I mentioned, we went to Roma Street to see the Christmas lights. Those sorts of things. I'm doing the Christmas, the 1st of December box with Max, so that will be a new tradition. Everything that we're doing this year are our new family traditions that we will hopefully carry on until the kids say, okay Mum, I'm 30 now, you can stop getting me a Christmas box, I don't need pajamas. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be that mum. Name a Christmas memory you have growing up. When I went to live with my dad, every Christmas we would just be at home. We would play. All the cousins and everything would come around over the Christmas holidays, like usually Christmas Eve, and I really loved Christmas Eve. We would all play, and we used to play murder in the dark, and it was quite scary because like we lived on a farm. My parents still live there, and there was my brother and one other cousin that was a boy, and then it was all of us girl cousins, like my 2 sisters, and I had 3 other girl cousins that were usually involved, and sometimes some others as well. But they're the ones that all sort of lived nearby, and we would play murder in the dark, which, if you don't know what that is, it's basically kind of like hide and seek but in the dark. And it's hide and seek and tip, where one person is the murderer and you chase and you have to look for the people and then get them. Like when you find them, they've got to run away and you go and tip them. So it's quite scary because as well, like thinking about it now, like snakes, and we would hide like under the house and in trees and down by the river because my parents live on a river. It's actually a really beautiful spot. But yeah, things like that like just playing all together and being up really late. List 5 items that will be on your Christmas table. Okay, well, we're actually going down to Rolly's mum's place for the majority of our Christmas celebration, and on that table will be, not that I'll get to participate, but wine, soft cheese, those two things I probably can't really have, prawns, I probably can't really have that either, ham, I probably can't really have that either. Let's be fair, I'm gonna have some prawns and some ham, but I'll make sure I have it when it's fresh out of the fridge, because it's all about how it's stored. And number 5 would be roast potatoes. What's Christmas about for you and your family? Like, e.g., is it the religious side, bringing family together, exchanging gifts? It's definitely about getting the family all together. I have, like, in my family, like with my dad, I have got a brother and 2 sisters. I also have a brother and a sister in Sydney, but I haven't spent Christmas with them for a long time. But having all of the family, as much family together as possible, and all the nieces and nephews, and just eating. I think I like food a lot, but just, yeah, to me it's about like, we often don't get together very much all together throughout the year. We also try to see Rolly's dad at some point. I know Rolly would absolutely love to watch the Boxing Day test with his dad, but often, because the other parts of our families both live in completely different sections of the country, like we have a 7-hour drive, might take us 8 or 9 hours to get there, to get to Rolly's mum. And my parents are on the way, but it's like sort of also a little bit of a detour as well. So that's 5 hours, and it is really hard, because if we want to spend Christmas Day where we are, then usually we're either driving on Boxing Day, or, you know, it's hard to kind of be everywhere at once. So what's one thing you do not like about Christmas or this time of year? I don't really like how Christmas has become so much about the gift giving and the pressure. You know, I don't like the idea that Santa comes to good boys and girls, but good boys and girls with rich parents, if that makes sense. I think it's really sad. You know, I just really get upset at the thought of people being lonely at this time of year. I have definitely experienced my own, I guess, pain around the Christmas period. And I think that is why Rolly and I have been a bit Christmas Scroogey. It's not because we don't believe in the magic of Christmas. It's that, like, well, for me especially, not so much Rolly, but for me especially, Christmas has held a lot of loneliness and sadness for many years, and I'll explain that maybe at another time. But yeah, I just feel that I understand that feeling of like sadness and loneliness and desperation and feeling of like going without. So yeah, it really does pull on my heartstrings to think of the people that don't have somewhere to go and don't have a family to spend Christmas with and things like that. So yeah, I think that that's a really sad part about Christmas, and you know, the fact that it's so consumerist that, you know, someone can't afford to give their kids an iPad or whatever, and that's not a bad thing. Like, yeah, so anyway, you know what I mean. I'm pregnant, I'll probably start crying if I keep talking about that. Who gets the most stressed in your household or family around this time of year? I would say whoever is hosting Christmas, so most likely my parents or Rolly's mum, because they're usually the ones who are hosting, or sometimes Christmas has been, I think we had one Christmas at my sister's. Yeah, so whoever's hosting, because I can't imagine what it's like having like 4 or 5 different individual families, like, you know, my brother and my sister and their families and kids and stuff like that, all coming to visit, and making sure you've got enough food. Especially my parents live out of town, and you know, going in to do the groceries is not just a quick nip down to the shops, it's like a 40-minute drive into town to get to the supermarket. And you know, even just like running out of milk is like a potential like not great thing, you know. So just making sure everything's catered for, and even things like toilet paper, and also like with my parents, like, they're on the river now, but like having enough access to water for people to have showers and use the toilet and things like that. So I can imagine that it would be so stressful. Like, where are you going to put everybody? Even though they've got nice big houses and places to spread out, still, you know, the bedding issue and things like that. So really do appreciate that it must be quite a challenge. Name one of your favorite all-time Christmas gifts you've received. I think I did mention it in the last, in part 1 of this video, that when I was about 12, my younger sister and I, who would have been 8, because she's 4 years younger than me, we both got sleeping bags and boomerang pillows, which, you know, you'd think, oh yeah, big deal, sleeping bags. But we used to love setting up tents under the trampoline. We'd put a tarp over the tent and we would sleep out there under the tent, which is crazy thinking about it now, but we absolutely loved it. So having the proper sleeping bag and a nice pillow was like the ultimate. We went through a whole Christmas holidays of like finding random places to go camping in the yard, and it was all thanks to that pillow and sleeping bag. So I think those kinds of presents where you can use them, or like things like board games where you play with the family, like those things. Yeah. Oh, that was another Christmas memory. We used to always play board games. Playing a board game to me is like the ultimate bonding thing. Yeah, I just really enjoy all of that. So anything where it means that you come together and create a memory with somebody, I think is a really special present to give. And that's why I really enjoy giving those kinds of presents, and why I see the value in experiences and memories over just like a plastic piece of junk. Name one thing that's different or new this 2017 Christmas. So this year is the first year Max does actually seem to understand a little bit about the concept of Santa and Christmas, and he has just been in the best mood lately. Like, it's really sweet to see him. Like when we took him to the Enchanted Garden in Roma Street, like he was just beside himself. He's so happy. He wakes up happy, he goes to bed happy, and it's just such a lovely time of year. And that is something that's completely different for me this year. I absolutely have been really enjoying the lead up to Christmas because of having my own family. And even though this is his third Christmas, like he was a 4 or 5 month old, and then he was, you know, only 1 and a bit last Christmas. So this year, because he seems to understand, and it just makes it all that more magical. So that is one thing that's different this year, and I can really see why families do get into the whole Christmas spirit thing. So yeah, all right, this video is going to be a mile long. I'm so sorry if I'm just rambling on, which I am, I know I am, but I'm sorry if that you don't find this interesting. And hopefully if you didn't find this interesting, you clicked away a long time ago. Anyway, I do really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. It does really mean a lot to me. I know that this is a busy time of year, so if I have been able to provide a 5-minute or 10-minute or however long this video is break for you to just chill out and have 5 minutes with a hot cup of tea, I'm really, yeah, that's my hope, that you do take some time for yourself and do enjoy that Christmas holiday feeling and not just get stressed and feel overwhelmed, because that's the last thing that we really should be doing, even though that's the thing that we all tend to do the most at this time of year. Anyway, lots of love to you, and I know that it's like a couple of days until Christmas, so I hope that wherever you are setting up for a lovely few days with your family and friends. Lots of love to you, Merry Christmas, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye!